Hi, everyone. Good evening and welcome. It's your girl, Nora Christine, and this is Nora Christine Live. We are going to be talking about the riots and protests in California. Are we on the brink of a civil war? And this is definitely a good topic for the night. Make sure you're smashing that like button. Let's go. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button. And tonight we are going to break down, are we on the brink of a civil war with the protests? I'm sure you guys have been watching, but there is definite civil unrest right now as we speak in California. The United States has deployed the National Guard, and I'm hearing that some Marines are actively being deployed as well. LAPD declares unlawful assembly as protests intensify. And boy, do I have some clips for you guys tonight. So make sure you hit that like button. So the question on everyone's mind is this an insurrection? Because J6 was labeled an insurrection immediately by Democrats, but I'm reading different things from them. Kamala Harris put out a statement tonight. Boy, wait till I read that to you, what she had to say. Uh, because you would think it's just a picnic in a park. Um, this is crazy. I'm reading an article from Hindustan Times, and they're saying that she's inciting violence. So let me read to you her statement. Los Angeles is my home, and like so many Americans, I am appalled at what we are witnessing on the streets of our city. Deploying the National Guard is a dangerous escalation meant to promote chaos. In addition to the recent ICE raids in Southern California and across our nation, it is part of the Trump administration's cruel, calculated agenda to spread panic and division. The administration's actions are not about public safety. They're about stroking fear of a community demanding dignity and due process. Protest is a powerful tool, essential in the fight for justice. And then, as the LAPD mayor and governor have noted, demonstrations in defense of our immigrant neighbors have been overwhelmingly peaceful. I continue to support millions of Americans who are standing up to protect our most fundamental rights and freedoms. All right. So we're going to play some clips and we're going to take a poll. Is this peaceful protest or was this pure chaos, rioting, and an insurrection? I don't know how else to put this. What I'm seeing tonight, I would label as an insurrection, but clearly, Kamala Harris, our former VP, our former Democratic nominee for the Democratic Party, who lost terribly to President Trump, sees otherwise. Okay. Make sure you guys are tapping that like button. Hit that like button. Tapping is clapping. Let's go. Let me share my screen. I finally got my clips up. X is acting weird tonight. I don't know if there's anything to do with the riots going on, but here we go. Let me play this clip for you.
Prepared to deploy. I also want to ask you about some breaking news that we're just getting in. This is brand new into our newsroom, that the U.S. Northern Command is saying that approximately 500 active duty Marines are, quote, prepared to deploy. In their words, as unrest in Los Angeles continues. This is after, of course, the Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, had mentioned this. Is that necessary at this point?
No.
Yes, it's necessary.
I'm going to be, I mean, not operationally, it's not necessary. There may be other reasons for it. I want
to
just put this.
I also want to ask you about some breaking news that we're just getting in. This is brand new into our newsroom, that
of course they don't want it, guys. They want chaos. Kamala Harris lost so terribly, guys, that the Democratic Party is in shambles. And honestly, I have a feeling that I wouldn't be surprised, allegedly, if this is planned, okay? If this is their agenda to destabilize our government. And again, I say, is this the start of a civil war? And I'm going to tell you why. If you had chaos in your city, why would you turn down national help when clearly your police officers' safety is at risk? Your police officers are overwhelmed. Your cities are literally being burned to the ground. Yet you're saying you don't want the National Guard there? Like, what are we talking about? I'm going to keep playing some clips to you guys because according to the Democrats, These are peaceful protests we're seeing. And, don't believe your lying eyes. They're looking for due process. It's peaceful. Listen, I understand people are very fearful of the situation going on with ICE, but still, I stand on our borders are not safe. President Trump had to fix what's been unburdened and burdened by the Biden-Harris administration, okay? The Biden-Harris administration left him a mess. He had to fix it, okay? He had to do what he had to do to secure our border. And this is where we're at. Our border has never been safer in the last 5 years than it is tonight, okay? But they're going to tell you, oh, you got to be fearful. And they're even doing fear mongering to Black people. They're telling Black people, well, immigrants are first, you're next. Shame on the Democrats for this tonight. Shame on them. And honestly, again, I stand on you should blame yourselves for losing so terribly. If you didn't want Trump to lose, why did you put up Kamala Harris when you knew she didn't have a winning chance? Why didn't you? Okay, how about this? Forgive her a winning chance. Why didn't you make Joe Biden step out a year before he did when you knew he was starting to decline? Joe Biden should not have been the initial nominee. Should have been Kamala, where they could have prepared her, or they should have had a primary and not stole it from a possibility of having a real primary election so the American Democratic Party voters could vote for a nominee. So again, tonight, I'm fully blaming on the Democratic Party. It's not President Trump's fault. He has to respond. Let me play this clip. I got another clip I'm going to play. Here we go. This is Mayor Karen
People
Bass.
should exercise their right to protest. That's their First Amendment right. But people should also exercise that right peacefully. We do not want to play into the administration's hands. We're working with officials. We're organizing resources. But what we're seeing in Los Angeles is chaos that is provoked by the administration. When you raid Home Depot and workplaces, when you tear parents and children apart, and when you run armored caravans through our streets, you cause fear and you cause panic. And deploying federalized troops is a dangerous escalation, but we need to be real about this. This is about another agenda. It's not about public safety. There's clearly no plan, and there is clearly no policy. I want the people of Los Angeles to know that we stand with all Angelenos, no matter where you were born. The First Amendment right gives you the ability, again, to protest peacefully, but it does not give you the right to be violent, to create chaos, or to vandalize property, and that will not be tolerated. So I call on all Angelenos to continue expressing your right, your anger, your outrage, but to do it peacefully. And I just have to say that all of you were there Friday. Everybody knows what happened Friday. A workplace, several workplaces were targeted and raids took place. Now, in the beginning, the administration said they were just looking for dangerous felons, violent people. It's hard to say that that's what they found at a workplace or in a Home Depot parking lot. When this happens, it terrifies people. It sends a sense of fear and chaos in our city. And you well remember a few years ago in the last administration that kids were afraid to go to school. Parents.
I can't with this. I really can't, guys. I really can't. This is the thing. I understand that people are fearful. I understand that families are being torn apart. And I am genuinely empathetic. But if I have about as much empathy for that as I do for the American citizens that commit crimes and go to prison on a daily basis when they have to leave their children. There's women every day that commit crimes. They have to leave their children. They got to go do their time in jail. It happens. And I am empathetic. It's the same thing. If you're in this country illegally, if you're in this country without documentation, if you're in this country without paperwork, this is what happens. When you come here illegally, the first thing that you do to enter a nation is illegal. This is what happens. And, I can't help but to remember this scripture that people have been reminding me of, and God really placed it on my soul. And honestly, I was going to do a TikTok on it, but the weekend got away from me. Deuteronomy 28:43-45. The foreigners who reside among you will rise above you higher and higher, but you will sink lower and lower. They will lend to you, but you will not lend to them. They will be the head, but you will be the tail. All these curses will come on you. They will pursue you and overtake you until you are destroyed because you did not obey the Lord, your God, and observe the commands and decrees he gave you. Okay? This is where we're at, guys. People are coming in this country illegally. They're taking over, and the Democrats are okay with that. I stand on immigrants did build this nation. Okay, we can agree to disagree. I know some people say no, they didn't, but we can also acknowledge that slaves who were illegally taken from Africa built this nation as well. Two things can be true. Okay, immigrants did build this nation. However, when people came through Ellis Island, that was a form of legal immigration at the time. What's happening now is not legal immigration. People can't just come through, kick down the door, and then we don't know who's here. And then it just be like, oh, it's okay. We don't know who's here. You know, that's a form of illegal immigration. The whole reason why we voted for Trump is because we wanted legal immigration. We wanted reform. We wanted a change in the system. We can't have a change in the system until we fix the system we have. And essentially, that's what President Trump is doing. Okay. And I know it's a hard pill to swallow. I know it's a rough time we're going through in this nation. I know it's a scary time, but I don't know what's scarier. The fact that we have people that are okay with people burning flags in the street, burning cars for illegals, essentially burning flags and protesting for people who shouldn't even be in this country. And I saw this shirt and it said it best. If you don't like what's happening in this country, go to a country where you're happy. I mean, and this is essentially where it's at. If you're so unhappy with our immigration system, there's the door. Trump is not holding anyone here. And I stand on that. I'm going to play this clip right now for you guys. You're watching on TikTok. You can go on my YouTube link in bio and watch the clip with us. They're burning stuff in the street, but this is okay for the Democrats. Why? Because they stand by illegals. They stand by us having lawlessness, which is essentially where we're at, guys. We are basically saying we are okay with lawlessness in this country. Yes, the Marines are coming, Tyler, and I'm happy that they are. And I stand on that. And I stand on the fact that I'm happy they are. Let me play this other clip for y'all. Again, if you're watching, you want to follow along, please go to my
Guard
YouTube
troops
link.
are there on the ground. Try to spread them out a bit. Now, obviously, they're trying to disperse them. I'm curious if now that the National Guard troops are there on the ground, if there's any urgency on the police department's part to really put out an even stronger force and a stronger posture to get this under control, so you can, and I know your governor has said that they don't want, that he's formally requested that the National Guard troops go back, that they're not needed. Were those things correlated?
Well, I absolutely agree with the governor in asking that the troops be withdrawn. I don't think that is the way to bring peace in Los Angeles. I think that our law enforcement officers can handle this situation, but I just have to repeat again, it's a feeling here of intentional chaos in a situation that had not broken out to violence, short of a few people, and there's nothing unusual about that, and our police departments can manage that, but it is as though troops were rolled out in a provocative manner, and I do not see how that is helpful to Los Angeles right now. It's not the type of resources that we need in the city.
You
You know what Trump did say? Trump said, if you are here illegally, he wants you to leave. He, in fact, even offered you guys $1,000. I've never even heard of no other administration doing this. I'm going to give you $1,000 to go where you at and reapply. We want you here because we need the labor and we need the help, but we need you here legally. We need to be able to know who's in our country. I mean, it's just like this. You have a house, in your house, somebody breaks through the back door. They may just be sitting on your couch eating, not bothering nobody, but they came into your house illegally. You don't know who's in your house. You finally do find them. Do you call the cops and kick them out? Or do you say, it's okay, you ain't bothering nobody, you can just sit here? This is the best way I can put it for you guys. And I don't know how else to say it. I don't understand why you want people here if we don't know who's here. Also, guys, another thing. Mexico's president, Claudia Sheinbaum, is now calling for protests in the United States. Let's watch this. If you guys are watching on TikTok, you want to follow along, please go to my YouTube link in bio and you can follow along.
Because if necessary, we will mobilize because we do not want taxes on remittances from our compatriots in the United States to Mexico. Because if necessary, we will mobilize because we do not want taxes on remittances from our compatriots in the United States to Mexico.
Thing is clapping, guys. If you're watching, you guys go to my YouTube. Just play the link on my live stream, link in bio. So, guys, I just played that clip. The Mexican president, she's pretty clear. She's like, whatever it takes, if necessary, we'll mobilize. We don't want taxes on remittance from our fellow countrymen. So pretty much what a lot of these people do, guys, is they're coming here, living in our country illegally, a lot of them, and they're sending money to back their countries back home. Yes, they pay taxes in the sense of whenever they buy a candy bar or they buy food or they buy, even certain, items here, they're paying taxes on it, but they're sending money back to their country. And Trump is cracking down on that too. Maxine being there today pissed me off because she's the problem. Oh yeah, we're going to play her clip. We're going to play her clip next. Just hold on. We're going to play her clip. We're about to play her clip. Let me play this other clip. And that's the other thing. They talk about they're out here protesting, right, guys? And they're protesting the ICE, but they got all these, they don't have United States flags out there. When the people went to the Capitol January 6th, they had United States flags. These people, they got other country flags. We're going to watch the clip, okay? And what's interesting to me is like, are you doing this for the United States? Are you protesting because of United States issue, or are you protesting, on behalf of your country? I'm confused. Are you pro-America, or are you pro, or did Mexico send these people here? Let me play the clip. So yeah, as you can see in that clip, straight chaos. They shut down the highway today. I mean, honestly, I'm going to show you guys the clip of them shutting down the highway. I don't understand how you could support this. Peaceful protest, you're in a corner, you're on the side of a block, you're lined up for blocks, yes, but you're not interrupting traffic, you're not stopping emergency vehicles from coming through, you're not stopping people that have health issues in an ambulance to come through. Let me show you what I mean, because this is chaos.
Invasion and put an end to these migrant riots. Order will be restored, the president writing. The illegals will be expelled and Los Angeles will be set free. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So obviously some provocation here from the president in several facets. As we see, here we go. Those demonstrators are making their way down the ramp and onto the 101 freeway. This is, I think, a concern that we had seen a little earlier. The freeway had been shut down by law enforcement, and it is now being shut down by the other side. Demonstrators are on the surface of the southbound 101 freeway and blocking traffic.
Jory.
Go ahead, Bruce.
What I was going to say is, look at the drain on the law enforcement resources. CHP has maybe 3 or 4 vehicles with personnel. Now they're going to have to call the troops in from all the outlying areas, and maybe even Orange County, Kern County, wherever they have other officers. And
as you guys just heard in that clip, they're talking about resources being drained. I don't understand how this is not like, why would you turn down this help? Let me read to you guys what Gavin Newsom had to say. And this is why I said, are we on the brink of a civil war? Because he's essentially going against the United States government. This is Gavin Newsom's message. The federal government is taking over the California National Guard and deploying 2,000 soldiers in LA. Not because there is a shortage of law enforcement, but because they want a spectacle. Don't give them one. Never use violence. Speak out peacefully. Instead of condemning these looters and these rioters and calling them for what they are, they're violent. They're causing chaos. They're causing crime. They're causing lawlessness. Yeah, what they don't get is that only makes their cause worse. Yeah, no one cares. I mean, what they don't get is my sympathy has gone down at this point because you guys are causing lawlessness in the street. I don't feel sympathetic for you. I'm going to be completely honest. You're not bringing more of us on this side to your side. I mean, there's a way to go about it. And the fact that Gavin Newsom is talking against the federal government tells me everything I need to know. Okay. And this is his other latest statement, y'all. I have formally requested the Trump administration rescind their unlawful deployments of troops in Los Angeles County and return them to my command. We didn't have a problem until Trump got involved. This is a serious breach of state sovereignty, inflaming tensions while pulling resources from where they're actually needed. Rescind the order. Return control to California. Listen here, buddy. You had no control. As I just played on the screen, you had no control. What are we talking about? You have no control. Okay. Let's see what great President Trump has to say. I want to play him on the screen.
What's the bar for sending Marines to
the bar is what I think it is. I mean, if we see danger to our country and to our citizens, we'll be very, very strong in terms of law and order. It's about law and order. We're going to be watching it very closely. And when they spit at people, you know, they spit. That's their new thing. They spit, and worse, you know what they throw at them, right? And when that happens, I have a little statement. They say, they spit, we hit. And I told them, nobody's going to spit on our police officers. Nobody's going to spit on our military, which they do as a common thing. They get up to them this far away and then they start spitting in their face. That happens, they get hit very hard.
Even if you're not planning to invoke that Insurrection Act, you still plan to send troops?
Well, we're going to have troops everywhere. We're not going to let this happen to our country. We're not going to let our country be torn apart like it was under Biden and his auto pen.
What's the bar for sending Marines to
the bar is what I...
So, yeah. As President Trump said, we are not going to allow our country to be torn apart. KK said, at first I felt bad, but now I don't. I feel bad for the kids. Yeah, I feel bad for the kids, but you know, at the same time, unfortunately, their parents, they came here illegally. I mean, it's that simple. They weren't compliant. They had years. They had a sympathetic ICE for years. They had a sympathetic Biden administration for years. Why didn't you go and comply? You know, the story that you hear about a lot of these people, and this is the interesting part. They never go to court when they're supposed to. They never comply when they're supposed to. Then they cry and they say, well, I I was so scared. I wish this immigration system's so broken, but it's the same story every time, especially with the ones that get deported and then find their way back in and then do some unspeakable thing. And then they say to us when we bring it up, it's a lie, it's not real, that the crime didn't happen. Remember that Trump is a racist. They say the same talking points. It's like rinse and repeat with these people. And they never acknowledge the issues that we have with the immigration system. And now somebody's taking control and it's a problem. Let me play this clip of Maxine Waters, y'all. KK, I'm about to play it now. Hold on. Yeah. There we go. Sorry, y'all.
No, I want you to. Hello, hello, hello. Congresswoman Waters, I just came to use my congressional authority to check on David.
Ma'am, we're lobbying securely now to all visitors.
Excuse me, I need to get in.
Contact our public appeal.
I need to get in.
What are you hoping to do, Congresswoman?
I just want to see David Werta. Right.
Would a congressperson normally be able to enter the...
Normally, yes.
What is happening here?
Well, there were some of the authorities, I don't know who they were, and I'm trying to get in to see David Werta, who they have arrested. He is the head of SEIU local union here. I don't know why he was targeted. I don't know what they're doing with him. I don't know whether they're going to deport him. I want to report back to my caucus about what's happening, but they have... No.
She wants to report back. She doesn't know what happened. If he needs to get deported, he needs to get, like, I'm not understanding. I want to know from somebody on the left, if you happen to come across this, please tell me what the protests are about. I might need to do some research, but I'm too busy engulfed in the fact that I think we're witnessing the start of a potential civil war that I haven't even cared about researching why they're protesting. I'll be honest with you. Oh, look at this. You heard it here first. Look at this clip of Maxine Waters and see what she says. She said the word too, guys. This is not coming from Nora Christine making this up. These people are using these words. Watch and see.
And he's using deportation as a way to enhance his position with all of those right-wingers out there who do not want this country to be a country of people coming from other places. It's outrageous, it is horrible, and we've got to make sure that we do everything that we possibly can, because I think he's up to creating martial law. He even alluded to
we got the National Guard here.
What do you think
National Guard for what?
What do you think about the National Guard being here, Trump deploying them and not our own governor?
Well, the thing about it is, I don't know why they're here with guns. Whom are they going to shoot, and for what? Are you going to shoot a kid running away just because they're afraid of them? Are you going to shoot a protester because you don't like what they're saying? Why are the guns? Why are these guns here? That's my question. I don't get why the guns have to be here. We're a sanctuary city. We know Trump doesn't like us. We know that he's going to try to use us as an example. He's going to try to goad us so that he has a martial law. He even alluded to civil war at one point in talking about this issue.
Why are the guards there? Because you guys are trying to break into federal buildings. An ICE facility is a federal building. It is not a state building. That's why they're bringing the National Guards there, for the safety of ICE agents, for the safety of the ICE administrative staff. Like, they have to protect them. That's why the National Guard is brought in. And let me read KK's tweet. So this weekend, people on TikTok have been live at these places and said, well, I've been watching all darn weekend. And she showed up, and before that even happened, she was venting about how she hated Trump and she's scared of the guns and everything else. Mind you, before she got there, they were throwing bottles and other stuff. Yeah. Okay, tell everybody what these people have been doing. They need to know. They're throwing bottles with urine, with whatever, God knows what else. They're spitting in these police officers' faces. But no, that's okay. Listen, I'm going to tell you what's just been uploaded into me. California is what the Democrats use as a prototype for what's to come for the United States. We've seen it. We saw it with the LGBTQ stuff. We saw it with, saw it with a lot of things. California's always been like that for the past 50 years. They're the most liberal state in the country. And what they do is they come up with these liberal agendas. They set it up in California. They see how the trial and error, and then they set it up across the United States. Okay. This has been their game plan for the last 50 years. Like I said, what I sense is this is by design, and this is what they're trying to do across the United States with these protests. And I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna let you put two and two together because I don't want to get taken off the TikTok. But that's what I sense is going on. Okay. This is wild to me, guys. Look, you heard it here first. She's talking about civil war. She's saying that Trump's doing it all the while they're doing it. Okay. Let's watch this city council woman from California. Let's see what she has to say. KK said, then today they were bringing in driverless cars and setting them on fire and standing on them. Yeah, I know. Here we go. This is a councilwoman from California speaking now.
They know how quickly we mobilize. That's why they're changing tactics. Because community defense works and our resistance has slowed them down before. And if they're escalating their tactics, then so are we. When they show up, we gotta show up even stronger. They know how quickly we mobilize. That's why they're changing tactics.
So here you go. She's inciting violence and lawlessness. She's saying, we got to show up. We got to get together. We got to organize so they can riot pretty much. Okay. And shout out to my girl, Claire Patriot. I want to play this clip. I'm going to play a clip of her. I'm going to use her stuff. Thank you, Claire, for making this. About to play it. Hold on, guys.
Nothing to see here, just a pile of bricks showing up in LA. It's curious how they keep showing up in places where people actually might want to throw them. I wonder where they come from. Coincidence? It's been a rough year for LA. First they went through those wildfires and now they have this going on. I feel bad for the citizens that truly don't want to be involved in this and want those people out of our country. And we got posts like this from the person that's supposed to be running their state, Gavin Newsom, appalled that they would release the Marines onto the citizens. Well, if those are your citizens, Gavin Newsom, then you can go back with them and be the governor of wherever the fuck they end up. We got good old Karen Bass showing up again, yay, saying that they did not deploy the National Guard, even though we've seen a ton of Democratic little reporters, little influencers complaining about how rough the National Guard has been. So which is it? Are they there or are they not? Because I've seen a lot of videos of them actually being there, and I used to live in LA, so I know where those places are. So are you saying those videos are old or fake, or what's your explanation for that? Overall, that whole situation seems to be escalating, and with good leadership, situations like that probably wouldn't escalate. So I'm going to go ahead and not listen to you, Karen Bass. I will be praying personally for all the men and women that are having to thrust themselves into that situation and praying that this ends. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and this is just for entertainment.
Awesome the way she did that. So pretty much, y'all, this is crazy. Claire got some good points here. They out here, they lying. They saying that they're being deployed, not deployed. I can't figure it out. They can't figure it out because they didn't even know who's running things because no one is. This is the chaos of the Democrats, guys. And again, I'm not saying the Republicans are the greatest party ever, by no means. But they're doing such a shitty job, it's hard not to call it out. Like I said, but it's okay though, because I was listening to police scanner. They have cameras everywhere taking high quality pictures of them, running them through identifies. Good. I hope that they are identifying and arresting them. Good. Thank God that they are. Here's the clip, y'all. 12 hours ago, the National Guard arriving. I'm gonna play this now. There we go, y'all.
And yeah, we've already seen a large growing National Guard presence here in downtown LA. If you take a look behind me here, you can see troops are stationed along Alameda Street as another protest is expected to take place later today near City Hall. This follows President Trump's deployment of 2,000 National Guard members in response to a series of immigration protests across the city. This is new video from overnight showing the troops arrive. They stopped at City Hall after driving through Paramount, then ended up here at the Federal Building. Meantime, this follows another night of protest. Video from last night shows tense moments in downtown LA as protesters clashed with police, some setting off fireworks and starting fires. Officers responded with what appeared to be tear gas to disperse the crowds. In a separate incident, demonstrators were seen entering a damaged convenience store in Compton and looting items from inside. According to the LAPD, multiple individuals who returned to the area after a dispersal order was issued on Alameda Street were detained and are expected to be booked for failure to disperse. We spoke with Mayor Bass about the deployment of the national.
So yeah, as you guys can see here, there's chaos. This was 24 hours ago. Okay, but no, it was peaceful. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here, guys. Nothing to see, guys. Nothing for you to see. Also, I have another clip. They're spray painting graffiti, but hey, that's peaceful, right? They're not destructing property. They're not destroying property. All peaceful, nothing to see. Let's watch this now. Oops. Hold on, y'all. My bad, y'all. 1 second. Let me load that up. Come on, y'all. 1 second. I'm getting there. There we go, y'all. Sorry about that. There we go, y'all. Listen, guys, I'm going to be frank with you. If you support this, something is seriously wrong with you. You know, I'm not saying it was right what happened with George Floyd, but at the time, people were sick of seeing Black Americans dying at the hands of the police. And the reality is it was happening, okay? And I know that some people on the right will tell you it's made up, it's not real, blah, blah, blah. It's real, okay? And people, I understand why people were fired up. It was an American citizen. But what are we doing here? We're fired up over some people that are here illegally. We're fired up over if you're out there protesting, you got Mexico flags out there flying while you're protesting this. I don't understand the logic of this, and I want it explained to me. Because the reality is, we have a problem in this country. We have a broken immigration system. The door was open for the past 4 years under Joe Biden, and Trump has to fix it. That's the reality. And here we are. I'm going to play another clip of the protests and the rioting because they're going to tell you it's not real, but I want you guys to see it because it is happening. And they're going to tell you that they were peaceful protests. And I really hope people in LA are watching this. This is why I started it so late. Let's watch.
You guys want the inside scoop right here? Look, oh man, everyone's in there looting, bro. Looters, bro. Straight loot. Look at this. That's so sad. What is this? Look at this. Oh my god. I can't. You want to risk me getting stabbed or something? No, thank you. Look, they already gave up. They already understand. Look, TikTok, do your thing. Look. Get that, you know? Look, I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get him, guys. I'm gonna get him. Get a screenshot, send it to the police. Look, him in the red hat, guy in the blue shirt. Damn. Do your thing. I'm trying to be as inconspicuous as possible. I do not stand for none of this. No looting, nothing.
And this is peaceful, guys, right? They're looting because they care so much about what's happening in ICE. That's why they're looting. They got to get snacks for the ICE, the people in ICE. They got to get the snacks. They got to get the snacks for their buddies that are protesting, guys. There's no peacefulness about this, okay? None whatsoever. Okay. Here we are, more acts of violence, this time against the police officers. You know, the police officers that Gavin Newsom is voted in to protect and should have a duty to care for, but apparently he doesn't. He cares more about proving a point against Trump and the Trump administration. Here we go.
Oh, he busted the... Busted, picked up a big rock. Ooh.
These are the peaceful protesters, guys. Don't forget, you heard it here first. Lots of peaceful protesters, okay? Definitely really peaceful. Clashes erupt in LA as Trump deploys National Guard. Let me read you guys this article. It came out from CNN. Trump deploys National Guard to stop protests. But you know, they're going against Trump. They're saying it's a dangerous move. What other options do they have? Protesters have been arrested. The Los Angeles Police Department began making arrests after declaring several protests unlawful assemblies and authorizing the use of less lethal munitions. CNN field crews have witnessed mounted officers working to disperse demonstrators, as well as officers striking and pushing protesters and deploying flashbangs and tear gas into the crowd. At least 2 Waymo self-driving cars have been set on fire. About 300 National Guardsmen are deployed at 3 locations around LA. You know, Trump called on them to protect federal personnel and property and protests sparked by immigration raids. The first time a president has called in the National Guard without a state's request or consent since 1965. Good. He should do it. Good. This is what we voted for. He should. You can't allow lawlessness. This is still the United States of America. Yes, Gavin Newsom is the governor, but the federal government has authority over federal buildings. Okay. Let me explain to you how President Trump's been able to call them in. Because again, they're not going to tell you this. They're going to say, oh, it's the first time since 1965. Well, when you have lawlessness, he has to do it. It's that simple. You know, I mean, I don't understand why this is not something that we as United States citizens are not uniting on. I really don't. Governor Gavin Newsom and Trump called Trump on Friday, and they spoke for approximately 40 minutes, according to the governor's offices. Trump has claimed without evidence that he was forced to step in because California Democratic officials, including Newsom, were incapable of stopping the protests themselves. They were. It was only getting bigger and bigger and bigger. What are we talking about here? They were incapable. Okay, I don't understand why you guys are not seeing that this is bad. This is the 3rd day of protests. Okay, clearly they were incapable. When your men get overrun, you need help at this point. Hence why in Minnesota, they were able to burn down a police station. They were able to take over buildings, take over stores, take over places. You can thank us later, California, because if not, they were coming to take over your homes. Like, this is crazy. Also, the freeway. Hundreds of protesters made their way onto the 101 freeway in downtown Los Angeles Sunday afternoon after the initial protest site nearby was determined an unlawful assembly by police. The group caused a full closure of the 101 freeway for approximately 90 minutes. 90 minutes. And thousands of other protesters shut down several neighboring streets. Traffic in the city grid continues recovering from the disturbances. Why do you guys support this? I want to know. Seriously. I don't understand it. I don't understand how anybody can support this. I really don't. I want to hear from you guys though. Let me know. If you're okay with this happening, please let me know why. I want to have a positive conversation because for me, I don't see the need for it. So yeah, guys, I stand on. I think that this is the start of something bigger. I stand on. I do have a clip from somebody on the left. They said they're blaming ICE for the protest. Let me play this clean because I'm going to be fair and play both sides.
And so what do you and your girlfriend do at that point?
We get off and we see everybody else getting off to record. Peacefully, we do not throw anything at them. We're not yelling at them. We're just recording what's going on because people deserve to know the truth. This is why you guys are here. This is because, these things need to be documented. This is what they wanted. They wanted people to riot. They wanted the people to start fireworks. They wanted the people to start burning out. Why? Because this is the effect. So they can make us look bad. So they can make us seem that we're the ones causing this, that we started it. We didn't start this.
So you jump out of your car and you start recording. So what happens from there? Tell me what happens with your girlfriend.
As soon as we start recording, that's when they start pointing the tear gas guns and they start shooting everything. Everything, everywhere. So we can't breathe, we can't see anything. She has her phone. One of the agents, I hear them go for the people with the phones. They went straight for my girlfriend. They ripped her out of my arms. They took her. They threw me. They threw me her phone.
And so what do you and your girlfriend do at that point?
We get off and we see everybody else getting off to record. Peacefully, we do not throw anything at them. We're not yelling at them. We're just recording what's going on because people deserve to.
Yeah, guys, that's a guy. He claims that they were being peaceful. But again, do I believe that there are some peaceful people? Absolutely, I believe there are some peaceful people. But then you have people like this, and like this, and like this. Okay, so, unfortunately, one bad apple ruins the bunch. It's that simple, guys. One bad apple ruins the bunch. This is them at the ICE facility. This is what President Trump had to say. Let's watch this part. This is a guy facility, guys. This is them taking it over. This is like President Trump has so hard. It's like the race is coming in. I want you to see it here because the mainstream media is going to tell you he should, because they can work. What other choices he has? He has to protect people that work there. And again, I stand on what I said that he had to. This is them in the streets. This is them installing their own defenses. This is them putting chicken wire in the street. So yeah, guys, you guys are seeing these clips here first. Mainstream media is not going to show you this. This is a person in the street with the flag of Mexico, not even the United States flag. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? And again, I stand on this scripture. Foreigners who live in your land will gain more and more power while you gradually lose yours. They will have money to lend you, but you will have none to lend them. In the end, they will be your rulers. Okay? So yeah, guys, for those of you watching the replay, let me know what you think. Comment below. Are we close to on the brink of a civil war with California? I want to know your thoughts. So thank you for watching. Tapping is clapping. God bless. Good night. I'll be back tomorrow live streaming about the continuous Diddy coverage. Check it out. Also, I've been doing 60 second Diddy coverage, courtroom updates. So you can just watch for 60 seconds. So you definitely want to hit the subscribe button so you can see those when I put them out. God bless, good night, and have a safe night wherever you are.
Hey guys, we've got something big coming up. We're headed in person to cover the Diddy trial on June 2nd and June 3rd, and we need your help to get there. As you know, we are now celebrating our 1-year anniversary, so it's an exciting time for us. We'll be making exclusive in-life content, interviews, updates from the courthouse, and behind-the-scenes moments you won't see anywhere else. This is about more than just one case. It's about getting the truth out there, accountability, and bringing our community real, unfiltered coverage straight from the front lines. If you rock with what we do and want to support independent media, hit the link below and drop something in the Cash App. Cash App below. Please support us. Every dollar counts. Travel, lodging, care. And we're doing this for the new party team. For always supporting us. Let's make some noise.